Welcome to sports. The Moccasins are right back to work and in desperate need of a bounce-back game. The Rock Lobsters taking it to the Mocs last night in a 7-2 win. An entertaining game with 6 fights, but hard to win with 20 penalties. Moccasins look to clean things up and split the weekend series. The loss leapfrogged Athens over Monroe in the standings. Both teams now with 45 points, but Mocs have played 7 more games. Still trying to slither away with their first win over the Rock Lobsters. Over 4,800 fans feeling good, but Athens silences them early. This is eerily similar to last night. Malik Johnson, a breakaway off the rebound. That's a short-handed goal too. 4th one of the year given up by the Mocs. Second night in a row, Rock Lobsters strike first. Mocs down 1-0. Josh Rosenwein 4-0 against the Mocs, only 8 goals allowed. Kyle Heitzner changes that, fires the one-timer just inside the high slot for his 16th goal of the season. Go ahead and pick up your Snakes. Heitzner ties it at 1. Fans are back in it. And Heitzner, he keeps them on their feet in this one. He's going to secure the steal, and then watch this right here. Finds Corey Cunningham in front of the net. This is about as pretty as a goal as you will see. Cunningham's 12th of the season to put the Mocs up 2-1 after 1. Moccasins winning shots on net in the first period, 14-6. Different story though in the second. Before fans can even take their seats again, Daniil Gluckenhaver ties the game at 2. Only 19 seconds into the second period. Lot of pressure now on Sean Kuhn in net. Athens, they add another goal, and then 2-on-1 here. Michael Greco is going to take it himself. 3 unanswered goals in the second by the Rock Lobsters. Mocs now trailing 4-2. 6 minutes left in the period. Moccasins 0 for 11 on the power play last night. Haven't cashed in yet tonight. 4-on-3 here. Declan Conway, he buries it. 16th goal of the season. First power play goal by either team tonight. 1-goal game, 4-3. Athens still leading, but they would cash in on a 5-on-3 power play in the third. Heitzner's second goal pulled Monroe within 1, but it was not enough in this one. Moccasins just can't get that W over the Rock Lobsters. They fall 6-4.